And it's time to go live. And Sharon's in the airport, so we're going to have to mute Sharon because she's got announcements going on. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your flight and to the John Lavenia Success Mastermind for Monday, the 26th of July. John Lavenia here with you, as always, on a Monday morning. I do see, of course, my friend Daisy and Edward, Lindsay, Sharon, Suzanne, and more people tuning in as we speak. Welcome, everyone. We've got lots of good stuff going on here in the group. Quick announcements, and then we'll get into our next thrilling topic. So right now we're on general session, of course. The hospitality suite is always open, as you guys know. That's there for our members to use whenever you want to use it. And then today at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, we do have our e-commerce work group with Emma and Neil. So get excited for that. I'm not sure if Emma's here with us live right now because, nope, I don't see her. If Neil is here, I don't see Neil. So more people tuning in. Welcome, everyone. But they cover all kinds of topics as it relates to e-commerce and such. In fact, on that note, we did have a special event with Jessica Trueblood Thursday. So instead of the brand builder session, because my wife is recovering from surgery, right? So here was Jessica talking about Etsy specifically and how to succeed at Etsy. If you want to catch the replay on that, you can find that in your members site under recordings, special events, which is the final one all the way down at the bottom. So recordings, special events, bam. And there's like the special stuff, random stuff we put in there for your viewing pleasure. Then what? Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, we have our publicly broadcasted book study group. So that's been fun. We've gotten to meet some new people, some of which have become members. So welcome to our brand new members here in the group. And thank you all who are members, because it's because of you that we're able to put that out there and create that conversation of success for people who are interested in such things, and hopefully attract people into more resourceful ways of living and getting results. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. And we are still in my first book, Integrity is Everything. So as reviewed by the author himself. So bring your questions. If you want to, hear what I was thinking about when those words came out of my mouth, that would be a good time to do it. So that's at 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time tonight. That being said, today I've got an idea that I want to share with everyone, which is Mark's in a new location. Look at that, Mark. You've got the aesthetics going on. You must be in your kitchen or something. Okay, good to see you. But I've got an idea to share with you that I was reminded of. In fact, I'm reminded of it a lot. And it's kind of a heavy duty idea. It's kind of an intense way to start the week. But I'm thinking if we're going to do it, let's do it. Now, I also had this idea about the laws of the universe, right? So we talked last week about the law of, was it polarity we covered last week? Yeah, so if there's a left, there has to be a right. If there's an up, there has to be a down. When we talk about laws, we talk about things that are pretty, absolute. I know in the universe, there's nothing absolutely absolute. Okay, so just saying that, okay, it's an interesting quandary, a little puzzle to put together for yourself. But when we talk about laws, that you can bank on them. You can bank on them. All right. What I'm going to talk to you about today is not quite a law, but it's something that has been talked about again and again and again by people who study such things. And the such things we're talking about is how to become successful. Okay. So that's every topic, I think, comes down to that. But in particular, I want to talk about decision, which is a one-word concept, which is not quite as absolute as law, although my goodness, it holds water. Oh yeah, it does. I haven't seen this fail, what I'm going to talk with you about today. And I'm going to approach it from a couple of different angles. And I want you to kind of see how you're either in compliance or non-compliance with the ideas I'm going to share with you. Napoleon Hill, in his classic book, which we've all read, those of you who've been in our group for a while, Think and Grow Rich, he wrote a whole chapter on this one word, decision. Interestingly, in my book, Integrity is Everything, I wrote a whole chapter on this one word, decision. Are we covering that chapter tonight? I'm not sure. We're going to cover a couple of chapters. But the word decision I'm into etymology and derivations and the written word and language, because I find that it shapes my decisions and how I experience life. Right? What does it all mean? Well, look up the words, right? Here's what it means. I wonder what we did before language. I guess before language and before words, we just, grunted, or maybe we were doing like the amoeba thing, and like the communication was just simply exchanging, cells or something, or proteins or whatever, right? But we've evolved, right? I guess that's good news. I suppose it is. But now we have language, right? And we're able to transfer ideas, which are a higher level of vibration, right, than matter, right? So if we're looking at, what we're operating with, what are the tools we're operating with, right? We've got physical stuff like, bodies and, iPhones and food, water, air. Okay. But higher than that, right, is thought and in the ethers. And I know I can't wait to have our friend Stuart back on some sessions, because he always liked to talk about the more esoteric, in the ethers, right? So we're talking about the potentiality for stuff has not yet been reduced to the physical world of stuff, okay? But it's energy nonetheless. If, the ultimate law is that energy is, okay, great. So then nothing's created or destroyed. We're just, now I'm getting into laws again. The law of perpetual transmutation of radiant energy. Okay, great. I went ahead and said it. Now you know what law I'm talking about. I don't want to get too deep into the woods with the big words, okay? But the fact that everything's moving into form. Nothing's created or destroyed. Energy is, and it's perpetually being transmuted into various forms. Above that, we could say above the form could be the thought of the form. This device that you're watching me on right now was nothing but an idea in the mind of someone prior to it taking shape or being put into shape. Someone saying, let me take material and make combinations out of it. And now you've got computer or phone or whatever device it is that you're watching now. Okay. So the thought preceded the act preceded the product from high to low. Okay. But somebody had to make a decision about that. Somebody had to decide, wouldn't it be great if we could have a device like this and it fits in your pocket? And of course, there were lots of devices that led up to this. Okay. And it's got more computing power than what they sent the NASA, rockets to Mars and all, right in your pocket. And we can watch videos and we can communicate. Think of Alexander Graham Bell, right? Doing the wires thing with the, let's send that frequency over a piece of wire, and oh my goodness, I can hear you, right? So that evolved into this now. So there was a thought that preceded the act, and the act that preceded the the product, the production, the effect, the result, the physical thing we can touch. There had to be a decision in there. There had to be a decision. So back to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and why this, observably, this law of perpetual transmutation is unbreakable. Okay, why we can see that again and again. Something Napoleon Hill said in his book, Think and Grow Rich, in the chapter on decision. Analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well over the $1 million mark revealed the fact that every one of them had formed the habit of making decisions promptly and of changing those decisions slowly if and when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money, without exception, have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all, very slowly, and of changing those decisions quickly and often. Direct quote. How do I know that's a direct quote? I've read it so many times. So fact, without exception, sounds kind of close to a law, kind of close. Okay, we're not stating that it's a law, but what seed are we planting? If we're looking to transmute, let's say, our desire into its physical equivalent, what law are we actually putting to use? Law of perpetual transmutation. Here's the energy. It's already there. You're using it for something. You're going to do something with it. or something's going to be done to you, but energy is constantly moving into form. Perpetual transmutation. Nothing rests. So are we going to be deliberate about that or not? Now, I've heard it said, who was it that said this? I think it was Lloyd Conant, Earl Nightingale's business partner, when they were starting Nightingale Conant. He said 2% of people think, 3% think they think, and 95% would rather die than think. So we're talking about the deliberate use of thought to do what? To make decisions. Decision comes from the Latin root word decidere, which means to cut off from. It's a cutting off point. I have decided, I have cut off from all the possibilities, right? Because here's all the energy and here's all the stuff that could transmute into whatever. I have cut off this one possibility and I've cut myself off from all the other possibilities. I have made a decision. I shall now pick up the phone. You guys see I was successful in that action. The action would not have occurred had I not decided to pick up the phone. So the decision is causative. Thought is causative. Thought, which is higher than matter, is causative. But it's all in the same, here we are doing the physical universe thing, right? So it's not like we got to get like cosmic or anything about this. We do it all day, every day. So what's the issue with the decisions that most people make or would rather die than make? What's the issue with cutting ourselves off from any other outcomes? Here's what came up for me today. Well, it's another D word, doubt. But what if I can't? Here's a silly example for you. Okay, so let's say I'm an able-bodied person, and I'm able to pick up phones, okay? And I've got a thought. I'd like to pick up that phone. But let's say for whatever neurotic or psychotic, episode or whatever, I'm debating with myself in a state of doubt. I don't know, you know what? I'd like to, but you know what? I saw other people that didn't pick up the phone, and now I'm wondering if I could pick up the phone. I mean, there it is right there. Maybe, no. See, maybe's crazy. Maybe, indecision. There's the problem, right? So here I am debating with myself whether or not I could, in fact, if I really wanted to pick up the phone, if I could pick up that phone, right? So this sounds like a silly example. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's raise the bar now. Let's raise the bar to something more subjective. Okay, so the silly objective example, object, hand, phone, pick up, right? So now here's subjective example. I wonder if I could be successful in that business. I mean, I saw other people that, some were successful, some weren't. You know what? They failed. Oh yeah. I got examples. Now I've got evidence that maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if I can. Is this not the same conversation? It's the same exact conversation. It's the same exact indecision. Doubt, fear, worry, indecision. No cutting off point. Maybe. Non-doingness. And so if I'm not going to act upon the world will act upon me because it's perpetual transmutation. And time goes on and energy transmutes into different forms. And now I just pissed away a bunch of time and didn't get done what I thought I wanted to get done, but failed to decide to get done. Indecision. What else did Napoleon Hill say? He said that without exception, the people who fail to accumulate money take a long time to make a decision if they ever make one. And what else did he say? Change their minds quickly and often. So here's kind of black and white, right? Here's the successful people, make decisions promptly, don't change your mind unless you got a really good reason, and now think about it long and hard and make the case. Make the damn case if you're going to change course. Okay, like you're in court and you're the judge, you're the prosecutor, you're everything. Okay, make the case. You either sell it or you don't because you've already decided. That's a big case to make. Okay, here's the unsuccessful person. No decision. Yeah, you know what? Let me go ahead and pick up the phone. Oh, you know what? What if I talked to the other guy, my ignorant but well-meaning friends, family, and neighbors told me that other people failed in that kind of a deal. And most people don't pick up phones. And you let me go ahead and back out. Let me back out. of my dream, my purpose, my goal, my objectives, the thing that I said to myself when I was lying to myself earlier that I was committed to doing. Let me go back into that maybe. So maybe then does what? Defaults to inaction. Maybe equals inaction. Check it out in your own life. Maybe equals inaction, indecision, non-doingness, not effective, not cause, maybe. Because now we're assigning cause elsewhere. And guess what happens when you assign cause elsewhere? Elsewhere acts upon you. You get to be the effect. I see this again and again and again and again with people who are new in business. They reach because in an inspired moment, in a moment of clarity, and sometimes that's all you get is a moment. They reach and then they withdraw back into their comfort zone because of that terror barrier. Well, what if I can't? I saw other people that didn't. Okay, got it. And we can add whatever meanings we want to that. I would suggest that you add probably a more resourceful and causative meaning to that, and that is that you've got, look, anything can work. Anything can work. Amazon, network marketing, franchising, getting a job, right? Panhandling, anything can work. Who's doing it? A decisive person or a maybe person? Here's a story from Genesis. So we'll go back a couple thousand years. And I love this story, by the way, because, well, here's what I got out of it. Anyone ever heard of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah? So here's the wicked cities, and but there's this one righteous family that lives, amongst all this Sodom and Gomorrah stuff, right? So I won't get into graphic detail, but an angel appears to them and says, "Hey, get out of Dodge, all right? Run to the hills. There's the hills right there. Get out, because we're going to rain down fire. We're going to wreck this place. Okay, you guys are cool. Get the hell out of here. Don't look back. Don't look back. Run to the hills. Go. You've heard the message." Okay, and so they run to the hills. But the one person, I think in the story, his wife turns back and is frozen and turns into a pillar of salt. A pillar of salt. I remember being in a dentist office. It's funny how we remember certain things that have an impact on us from like decades ago. I was in a dentist office as a child. Couldn't have been more than 6, 7 years old. And they had a children's Bible sitting there in the waiting room as one of the reading materials. And there was a picture depicting Sodom burning and the family running to the hills, and the one person looking back at the burning city, and they were a white statue. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's wow, that's scary for a little kid, right? I don't want to turn into a white statue, right? So pillar of salt. Okay, so what does the story mean? What does the story mean? What are we talking about? We're talking about making a decision. So you got the moment of clarity. Let's go do that business. Let's pick up the phone. Let's do something. Okay, in a moment of clarity, the angel spoke. You made a decision. Run to the hills. Don't look back, or you are stopped. You're a pillar of salt. That's what that story means to me. So you make your decision in a moment of clarity, and sometimes that's all you get. You heard the voice. Awesome. Now we're moving. Don't turn back. And that's why people who've accumulated fortunes well in excess of the $1 million mark have formed the habit of making decisions promptly in a moment of clarity, and then changing those decisions very slowly, if ever. If you want me to look back, you damn well better have a great reason for me to do so, because all I see is the objective now. I am running to the hills. Is that useful? Have we seen this in our own lives? I have. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Have I seen this? Fear, doubt, uncertainty, or actually, if we put those words in the correct order, fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD, right? For anyone who knows anything about like investing and trading, right? There's what's called FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, from mass media. And, oh, here's what's going to happen with the stock. Oh, you should buy, you should sell. Oh, you might be leaving money on the table, right? All this FUD, which drives the market, causes people to make emotional decisions about, buy, sell, go long, go short, right? I've got a bit of experience in that world where you can make a lot of money really fast. And you can lose a lot of money really fast. I've done the latter, by the way. So fear, uncertainty, and doubt, pulling yourself in directions that, because now you're not cause, right? Here's all the other things that are more powerful than you. And in a trading world, I mean, unless you're a market maker and you're throwing billions of dollars at buying and selling and you're moving the needle, right? For the most part, you are the effect in that world. Here you are with your, $50,000 trading account or whatever. You're not moving the needle. You're not a whale, right? You're the effect. You're just looking at, what are the whales doing? What are the market makers doing? So I can go along for the ride. It's almost like gambling. Why am I even talking about that? Right. Because fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's why. And in that world too, here's the thing, is that you can't have an effect on the larger scene of it. Okay. You can have an effect in your own account by clicking the buy or sell button. Okay. But you yourself are not cause in that situation. You're in a much, much bigger scenario with that. So is that something for a guy who likes to sell, right? For a guy who likes to transfer ideas to other people and cause them to really get out of their own way and make better decisions in their life for their own benefit, right? You buy this product, you're going to experience the benefits of the product. I can have influence in that way. I can't have influence on, the trading charts, right? Not without billions and billions of dollars, which at the moment are not at my disposal. Okay. So for me, that's a tough game. That's a tough game. No matter how convincing I might think I am, the chart doesn't give a damn what I think, right? So it's a different game. It's an interesting game. At least it interests me. So here's back to the main point. Then I'm going to stop talking. Believe it or not, are you decisive? I guess that's the main thing, because the law of perpetual transmutation will not fail. It always works, always, 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 right? So energy is moving into form right now. What forms? You choose, or not. It'll be chosen for you. But we've got to be decisive about that. We can't be in a maybe on that. Some things are obviously going to gain more of our attention and our decisiveness than others, right? If my wife asked me, what do you want for dinner? I don't care. Whatever you're willing to eat too. Salads, and I don't care. Whatever, right? So have an effect upon me as long as it's, nutritious food or whatever. Otherwise, I'm going to end up at, Burger King or Taco Bell or something, or put a Marie Callender's, chicken pot pie in the microwave. But if you can do something more resourceful, be my guest. But I don't care, right? So thank you. I'm not terribly interested in, and some people are foodies. I get it. And I like a gourmet meal from time to time as well. It's not something that warrants a lot of my attention, because it's just not my thing. But it is your thing. Okay, great. Well, then you damn well better be decisive about that, right? Or you will be acted upon. Oh, chicken and rice with broccolini. Fantastic. Thank you. Great. It could have just as well been, steak or, spaghetti and meatballs or whatever, right? I wasn't making that decision. Somebody did. So you either decide or you will be acted upon. And remember what decide means. Cut off. It's a cutting off point. And if it's important to you, you'll hear the voice in a moment of clarity. You'll hear the voice. But then when the terror barrier, you confront that terror barrier and you think of turning back, just remember you made your decision in a moment of clarity. Never turn back unless you can prove to yourself that you were wrong. Takes a lot of thought, which is, as we know, the hardest work in the world. Anyway, thank you guys for that's what was inspiring me today. and I hope you got some mileage out of that. If you want to come on out. I see Virginia's got her hand up. We'll start with Virginia. Hi, Virginia. She says, I love FUD in the marketplace. It creates great buying opportunities. Yes, if you can be emotionally detached, you can't be in the game of it. You got to be above the game. Come on out, Virginia.
Good morning.
It is.
At least it is over here. And it's my morning. I just rolled out of bed. So, and have my morning coffee, and I was a few minutes late, so I apologize. This is amazing, John. As Edward is always prone to say, you always hit the perfect topic, because I have been speaking with Ingrid, our violinist in Canada, and her Beamer opportunity, and just decided Friday to go ahead and become a distributor for Beamer as well. It is, a device that is used for the body medically, and that goes in good with my nursing background. And everything I'm already doing with cookies and things like that is all wonderful. I love it. I'm going to an announcement out that my cookiesaroundtheworld.com is live. It's pennies. It's really just pennies, of income. It's something that I like to do and I'm passionate about, but it's not going to pay my bills on a monthly basis at this foreseeable future. So the Beamer opportunity also blends in. There's still that, there's that fun. Okay, I'm making yet another decision. I'm choosing yet another path. I'm choosing yet another avenue of potential income. And I don't want to commit to it unless I'm sure I'm definitely committed to it. So thank you for this. This was a great, because I have had moments of clarity. Even when we just spoke again on Friday, I was like, okay, sold, I'm in, I got it, here I go. There's so many good benefits from that particular product. I'll be a Beamer person.
Awesome. And look, you've got the ability to pick up more than one thing at a time, right? Virginia, are you still there? Are we live? Okay, great.
I am. It said my internet was unstable for a second.
Right. So, and while I don't believe in multitasking, and while I know that the fox that chases two rabbits catches neither, okay, there is a quantity of attention that you have throughout the day, and it's not all on making cookies or all on eating dinner or all on whatever, right? So yes, you can compartmentalize, put stuff on the calendar, and we all love Ingrid. Well, at least I do. Apparently a lot of people do. Virginia, she's so is she even here? Am I giving her a tongue bath?
I don't see her. I don't see her on the call.
So I will just say something about her. She's exceedingly authentic and competent. And oh my goodness, you want to get my vote right there. Like, do the job that you know how to do, and don't BS about it, right? And for me, that's Ingrid, and she's raw, earthy. Here's the violin. Here's the horses. Here's the Beamer stuff. Bam, right? So yeah, I think you're gonna have fun with that.
Yeah.
So enjoy.
I think so.
Yeah, good times. Thank you, Virginia. Who else is here with us who wants to say a couple of words? You can use whatever words you want, nouns, verbs, adjectives. Glenn Henderson, how are you, my friend?
Reverend Lavenia, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yep.
When I was a kid, or younger, one of the things I was accused of being was impulsive. And now, as late as you talk about this, I realize that what I was decisive. I made decisions quickly. I'd like to think of myself as a fairly intelligent person with reasonable judgment and good street sense or whatever. I suppose reasonable people could disagree on my level of sanity, but I have always had the habit of being able to see how can I put this in a way that will make sense? Being able to see the quantum signature of an idea and decide very quickly whether that quantum signature is a match with my own, without necessarily having to have all the details and all of the last lines of the compensation plan and the policies and procedures and all the minutia. Please. Okay, is this right for me? Yeah. Hell yeah, let's go. And there have been times when I've made decisions like that because I saw a match in a quantum signature and maybe something else happened and I decided later to go another way. The point of my mentioning any of this is to say that one of the things I needed to learn in the process of maturation, and again, my maturity, reasonable people can disagree, I needed to learn that it is not, in my case, for me, it's not only perfectly cool to make decisions quickly, but in fact, it is desirable for me to make decisions quickly because I don't waste as much time thinking, sitting around thinking, and not getting things done. I find that lately, when I make a decision quickly and decide, yes, this is something I want to do, this is something I've decided, I'm doing this, here's the choice, and I'm choosing it, let's go. Stuff gets done more quickly, more efficiently, following decisions like that, rather than, oh, well, I need to go and talk to Paul, and I let me pray about it, or let me think on it for a while, and
let me go talk myself out of this.
Yeah, give me a few days. I'll get back to you, and blah 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 blah. Invariably, when I take that kind of course to making a decision, I end up in the soup because quantum signatures don't generally take long to recognize. And for me, that's been the thing. I never knew it was the thing, and now I've written a book about the thing, so now I have a better idea. So take a look at the thing. The broad strokes, have I been shown the broad strokes? Yeah, okay. This is the industry, this is the product, this is the company, this is how they work, this is what they do, and if you're looking to make some money, this is how you make some money. Okay, what's the quantum signature? Hell yeah, let's go. And that's generally been enough for me, particularly lately. So if I had any suggestion for anyone, it would be trust your gut, because what your gut is telling you about is the quantum signature. And if it's a match, then go. Back to you, John.
Wow. So quantum signatures, huh? I guess that what I would call the angel has spoken, or the sixth sense from Napoleon Hill's book, right? So the gut feeling, the hunch, right? So the quantum signature. Wow, bigger words. Yeah, Glenn. Anybody ever been to, there's a website called New Age Bullshit Generator. Anyone ever been to that website?
Ooh.
It's you guys. Yeah. So let's see. sebpierce.com/bullshit. All right, there you go. I just put it in the chat. You guys could have a look at that. And I'm not accusing you of this of Glenn. Okay. You reminded me of where people get all lofty with like, the cosmic, new age, blah, blah, blah. Right.
I love it.
Yeah. So all you got to do is go to this website, click the reionize electrons button, and you will have a full page of content to use in your next new age self-help book. Oh my goodness. It's a classic. All right. Edward, you've got the floor, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hello, everybody. I want to come at this from a different perspective because I spend all my time collecting decisions. That's what I do for a living. And it blows my mind how it's such a big deal for an individual that has inquired, sent a letter in, requested information, and won't spend time with you and will dodge you. And then finally, when you get them, it's a huge decision. And we're talking about less than $200 a month. And it's like you're spending $200 a month on your cable TV. Think about it. Let's look at what is very important. Number one, where you live. Number two, food. And number three, protecting where you live. And then on top of that, you're going to die. So protect that too. Okay. So it blows my mind how these individuals that you talk to are just I want to think about it. I got to talk to my daughter about it. I got to talk to my son. No, you don't talk to your daughter about being alive and functioning and all that sort of thing. What are you talking about now? The indecision, like you talked about, is amazing when you think about, moving forward. Moving forward is just a progression. Just like you said, transmutation of energy is moving forward. And, what I have to do is work on myself, because what do these things mean when you're vibing like that? Because you might go 15, 20, 25 people that you hadn't contacted, and you called them 13 times a piece. And it's like, what is the issue here? Because you asked me to reach out to you and you gave me all your information, yet guess what? You're dodging me. And it doesn't make any sense. So the pillar of salt scenario, I agree with you 100%.
Have you ever, was that like a new consideration? Because for me, it was kind of a breakthrough when I was considering what does that story actually mean. Had you considered it in that way before?
To be honest with you, no. I've read it several times, and been very taken aback by what happened, but I never thought about the cutoff, which is exactly what you're talking about in terms of the decision you got to make. It's kind of like the revelation that you did last week about Goliath and David. That was huge for me, huge. And I'm excited about this revelation as well.
Wow. Well, thank you, Edward. I'm glad after 20 years of listening to me run my mouth that we're still able to get some fresh content.
That is so true. So true. 20 years for sure.
I love you, brother. All right. Edward. All right. We got Stefan here with us. Hey, Stefan, who I am speaking on your podcast today. So I'm excited about that.
Hey.
Can't wait to hear what comes out of my mouth. Hopefully something good.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sure you'll be. What was I going to say? What you were talking about with the indecision thing is something that I've seen very clearly in my own life a number of times. Whenever I make the decision to do something quickly, it usually ends up being a lot less stressful, a lot less anxiety, a lot less procrastination, and all the other bull that goes along with it. And when I do the opposite, like you said, give myself a reason to talk myself out of it. It's something it's worth looking at.
Right. Yeah. And it's like what Edward's talking about too. It's the people who don't quite reach, they reach, but they don't. So that whole maybe scenario. And what Glenn was talking about, I need to go think about it. Oh, I need to go talk myself out of it. Right. There's the translation. Thank you, Stefan. Looking forward to seeing you in a couple hours. Glenn's got his hand back. Oh, Stefan, were you complete? You were good?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it was at 2:15 for anybody who wanted to watch.
Oh, we're filming live. Okay, very good. Okay, well, I'll be there. Glenn,
Just one quick concrete example. I don't mean to monopolize your moment, sir. I was just reminded, as you were talking with Stefan there, I was just reminded of a decision that I made very quickly, and which was, it cost me, and it changed everything. It was the first telephone, you'll remember this, John, the first telephone conversation I ever had with you. You remember this? It was after I had come to one of you and our mutual friend Tony. What was his name? Yeah, I went to one of your weekend seminars, weekend workshops, marketing and such, and I think I went to a second one. And then I called you because I had become aware of a larger program that you were a part of, a higher ticket program that you were a part of, or were kind of marketing at that time. And I remember I called you up and I said, okay, well, tell me about this thing. And we were talking, getting acquainted. This was really the first time we'd gotten acquainted. And I was asking you about a little bit about yourself and you about me. And then I asked you, so what is this program? And you were telling me a little bit about it. And you know, I knew instantly that this was something I needed to do. Like quantum signatures, man. Bang! I knew. And then you told me the price. And after I chewed off about 6.5 fingernails, I said, well, I knew already. So, whew. And I said to you, I never forget this. I said to you, yeah, you know what, John, I'm going to do this, but I really need to, I know that I want to do this. I know this is going to be the greatest thing, but I've got to talk to Paula because this is a significant investment. One thinks twice, right? I was terrified. I have to tell you, I was extremely nervous talking to Paula about this. And I thought she would say, oh, no, because I had some interactions with her. She had seen me fall on my face in a couple of other ventures previously. And I thought, oh, geez, this is going to be a big argument. And oh, my gosh, how am I going to convince her? And I told her about it. You know what she did? She said, well, honey, if you think this is something that's really going to be good for you and good for us business-wise, I think you should do it. That moment convinced me, those two conversations, the one with you, the one with Paula, convinced me, quit screwing around making decisions. Just make them and then put massive action behind the decision. An old mentor of mine from one of the great network marketing companies, the late, great Mr. Mickey Hamlet, used to say, I never make a right decision. He says, I've never made a right decision. He says, I make a decision, and then I work at it, and I stick by it, and I stand behind it, and I make it a right decision. Which, the chapter right out of Napoleon Hill, and what you're talking about. Make the decision quickly and change the decision slowly, if at all. So that day, and that whole interaction, when I first sort of went into business working with you, was huge. That changed everything for me. I just thought you'd want to know that. Back to you, John.
Wow. Thank you, Glenn. And the interesting thing for those who weren't there, which is everyone except for me and Glenn, is that was not a very profitable action on Glenn's part. All right. So that thing, rose and fell and, it was what it was, but here we still are. And, we've survived and now we're thriving. Right. So yeah. I don't make all the right decisions, but I make my decisions right. So thank you, Glenn. Great reminder. Virginia's back with us. Hi, Virginia.
Hi, that reminds me of a story I told a couple months ago. I can't remember if it was in one of the books we read, but it was about this very successful banker, we'll just say JP Morgan or somebody like that, and he was being interviewed. The reporter asked him, what can you attribute your overwhelming success to? He said, I can say it in one word. No, I can say it in 2 words, good decisions. Okay, well, what has led you to, how do you get to making these good decisions? He said, I can answer that in 1 word, experience. Well, how do you get the experience to get to this point? I can answer that in 2 words, bad decisions. So you just have to keep going. That if he hadn't kept going, he would never have gotten to be where he is in life and the point. And that's just a little cute synopsis of that.
Very good.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. And who said that? You know what? Glenn probably has the source right now. But yeah, that was a classic. Yeah. Awesome stuff, guys. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up with that. I will see you all on book study. But remember, we do have at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have our e-commerce work group. So those of you engaging in e-commerce, engage, as Captain Jean-Luc Picard would say, or energize or something. So love you guys. We'll see you real soon.